Howdy, fellow listeners of the internet, and welcome back for another edition of the ONETA Show, brought to you by PTE Creative. As always, I'm your host, Evan Davies, and I am not joined by Dylan Davies today because we are out of our action scene tournament. We are joined by our favorite chaotic mess of a human being today, who has already started yelling at me that I'm a fake fan. It's Angelo Gonzalez today, my friends.
Today, Mr. Evan Reginald Davies, you are joined by an ally. And I'm only seeing one ally on this call.
Yeah, even though I'm the one who told you if you're going to put a background up, put the background up of the trans flag, because it's, as we're recording this, it's Day of Visibility, and we're trying to support people who our federal government says don't exist, because the federal government currently is run by a bunch of fucking despots. But you're right, I'm not an ally. Sure, okay.
Let's be very clear. You tell me to do nothing. I am not paid for this podcast. You are not my boss.
I didn't tell it.
What you do is you are a non-ally to our trans friends on Trans Day of Visibility, which is not the day this is going to actually get uploaded, but it is the day that we are recording. Because I'm a true friend. If you look through our Discord chat message history, I have sent you pictures of, I'm pretty sure, Trans Zelda or Trans Link, one or the other. I've been the truest ally from the start.
Because you take one idea and run with it in the horniest way possible the internet can find, and just mass send those things.
See,
in our Discord chat.
There's a way I could get you again.
I'm sure you could.
I'm choosing not to for the virtue of this podcast.
Oh, naturally.
I just want to say, you're welcome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You chaotic motherfucker. However, it is in these moments that I reflect, why are you my best friend? And it's bullshit like this. So, like, I can't be that mad. But in all sincerity, we've covered in the joking manner. Currently, we are recording, and it's Trans Day of Visibility. That's not going to be the full topic of the show, but we just want to say, there are so many people out, specifically in the world, but in our country in particular, in the U.S., that feel super alien right now because the U.S. government fucking sucks, and the people that voted for this government clearly didn't care that much. But we see, and we support you. So we love you.
So the topic,
if you need some support, we'll go from there.
The topic for today's podcast, top 10 trans people all time.
Oh, God, we're not doing that.
You've got a tier list ready of the 10 best and 10 worst trans people.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. We're not ranking people based on how good they are as a trans person or not.
It's totally the one that killed that guy. You know what? Let's continue.
Don't start. Don't fucking start.
What's that?
We're going to talk Nintendo today, and we're just going to pretty much shoot the shit. Oh, the replacement for Sierra Mist. Nice.
This podcast is sponsored by Starry.
Sure. You know what? If it had the money, we'd talk about it.
There's 35 milligrams of sodium, and it has no caffeine, which means that I'm legally allowed to drink it past 8 p.m. Sorry, continue.
What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening?
Show? What are you doing? Come on.
All right, so we are. This is going to be recorded after the fact, but it's kind of going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge, what have you, show, like we did the last time we were together. We are on the heels of the Switch 2 release and pre-orders being opened.
You got to turn your ringtone off, man.
I know. It's just because my wife and I have had to have a chat about some other stuff during this time, and she's been yelling. Well, the other day,
you're working right now.
Well, the other day she caught me in classic Evan mode, where when I'm at work, I truly silence my phone, don't do anything, and it just stays in my pocket for days on end without me hearing or knowing a notification comes. And then she's just like, did you just take your phone and fucking throw it across the room when I tried calling you 3 times for an urgent thing? I'm like, no, I just didn't know you called. And so I'm like, all right, I'll improve. I'll try to pay attention on this one.
Switching to meek husband voice. I don't know. I just thought it'd be okay.
I did counter with the most bullshit argument ever. I was like, well, does it at least make you feel good that everyone else gets the exact same treatment too? That it's not just you I avoid. I avoid everybody like that.
And then she was like, Evan, I'm your wife.
Yeah,
I do not settle for the same treatment as everyone else.
I did get a slight dirty look on that one, so it's it's fair. It's fair. It's earned.
I have learned wonderful things about the Nintendo Direct that occurred not but 4 days ago.
Oh,
have you heard the great news, sir?
I mean, I know a lot of people are flipping their fucking lid over Tamagotchi or whatever the fuck it was.
That's also cool, but that is not the coolest announcement.
What is the coolest announcement? Is this the one you were going to go ham on because you're going to have some fun?
No, it wasn't even that. It's just the best video game series of all time, Rhythm Heaven Groove, baby.
Oh, God.
Rhythm Heaven coming to the Switch.
Coming
to the Switch, probably after the Switch 2 is already out. And what the hell, Nintendo? But hey, you know what? Can't be mad. I'm getting Rhythm Heaven game.
Yeah.
I'm going to emulate the hell out of it on my Steam Deck. But I'm still going to buy it. I'm going to give them money. I'm going to purchase the game. But I am going to emulate it because Steam Deck's a better way to play it. Thanks, Nintendo.
Fuck you, Nintendo, but also shut up and take my money. I love this.
They will get their $40 or whatever they charge for Rhythm Heaven. If it's a $70 game, I'll be kind of mad, but I'll still pay.
Are they at the $70 mark? I thought they were still at the $60 mark. I know the Xbox and the PlayStation are at the $70 mark because I'm fucking paying for those now, and that sucks. But
if you look at the end of the Nintendo Direct, I didn't actually watch it, so I don't know when it shows up. But they talk about their new virtual game card system, which I also have strong feelings about. But as part of that, they show a demo of the Nintendo Store. And on the Nintendo Store, they show you The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom priced at $69.99. So I have not bought a Nintendo game in a while. But they were showing off.
Did I pay $70 for Tears of the Kingdom?
You probably
that doesn't sound wrong. But I also paid a hefty chunk of change because I had to buy the special Tears of the Kingdom Switch because Ab's like, we should have a second Switch.
I remember that.
And I specifically said, no, we don't. And guess what? Guess who was right? I was, but nonetheless.
Wait, did we? I don't remember. Did me and Ashley buy you a Switch?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I remember we talked about it. I didn't remember if it ended up happening.
No. I bought it.
I think it was you guys were already buying the Switch, so we were like, oh, well, there's no point in us buying a third Switch.
Yeah. So, but no, I brought it on a road trip through Carolina and Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
I just unboxed the whole thing with you guys.
I was playing Tears of the Kingdom in the back seat.
Yeah.
A week before it came out. God, Steam Deck rules. You know what?
I mean, to be fair, we had it. You were playing it the week before we started, but then it had come out just like days before the trip started. Or came out like the day that... Because I had the Tears of the Kingdom Switch that came with Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom, the game, came out a week after I got access to it on my Steam Deck. And I know that because I remember thinking, this is the coolest goddamn thing in the world, that I can play this game before Nintendo users themselves can play it, which was awesome. I am admitting to piracy, but also I gave them money. I gave them money a week later. They got their money. I don't know if I paid. Did I pay $70 for Tears of the Kingdom 2?
I don't fucking know.
It's a really good game, but $70 is a lot of money.
Well, it's also come out that pretty much everybody I know quit. I'm one of the only people in all of my circles of video game players, whether they be casuals or hardcores, that actually finished the story of the game. You included the last time I spoke to you, in which you did not finish the game, and everyone was like, yeah, eventually just became too much, and I was just kind of done.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open my Steam account. I'm going to look at my total time spent. 72, 82, 86.
There's no way you finished
96. I
with those
have
hours.
I have played 100 hours of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Goddamn right. It's greatest game of all time.
Have not made it past the second main quest level or mission in that game.
I fucking know because we talk about it all the time when this gets brought up.
Yes. When I played Tears of the Kingdom, I probably spent the first approximately 16 hours of that video game without the hang glider because I am just immediately like, oh, that's the main quest. Not doing it. And went the completely opposite direction. And I thought for a long time that they just didn't give you the hang glider.
Yeah.
And you had to find it out in the world, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. And then I learned like 16 hours in, oh, they just give it to you. If I did like one more mission, they would have just given it to me. But I liked those 16 hours of imagining a bold Nintendo who's like, no, you don't get this. You have to just traverse. Just traverse, walk. Use your horse. We gave you a horse for a reason.
You
It was
make
cool.
a contraption for your movement. Figure some shit out. Yes.
Yeah, build stuff. Make a car. You don't need glider. Make a car. That's a cooler version of Nintendo.
Fair, but you, like many people in my life, I don't know if there's another person in my life that actually finished the story of Tears of the Kingdom besides myself.
But see, that's not. I want to be clear. That is not an indictment of Tears of the Kingdom. You should just never complete video games. Because if you don't complete a video game, then there's a theoretical future that you can think about all the time and never actually act upon, where you come back to playing a video game that you really enjoyed but never finished.
Why? Just have the fun and finish it.
I'll beat Fallout 3 one day. I got to the last mission.
I will
and
say
then I stopped. I'll beat it one day.
I might play Fallout eventually. I'm gonna give it another shot because I really like the TV series. It's good.
You should play. Oh, you should play Fallout 4 VR. That's the coolest Fallout.
Well, with our previous discussion, I don't know if that's the best thing for me to play at this moment, but yes, I will play it eventually.
Is your broke ass eyeballs?
Yes, my broke ass eyeballs. I'm
I think
starting to
you're a
get.
little
I've been having so much screen time because if this is being edited for those that are watching, because we're doing the crossovers right now in terms of real time when people are seeing all the movie crossovers, or the action scene tournament crossovers. I have been non-stop editing all the fucking time. So it's just been, it's been is record, go to work, come back, edit a podcast, put it into single video form after that as well, get up and do it again. And do it again, and to the point where I just said, Sunday, you can't do anything podcast related, and then I recorded 3 hours with Dylan. So, like, for other podcasts, it's like, can't. Saturday wasn't so bad, though.
One, quit your job.
If
Two,
only.
Can you give me spoilers on what the best action scene of all time was?
I can, because it'll be officially released on this.
Can you release this tonight? Can you give me spoilers and then release this immediately?
The winner was the truck chase from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Heat did not make it out of the first round for your question, by the way.
That's messed up.
It went up against John Wick.
John Wick is very good. But John Wick then also eventually lost Indiana Jones, huh?
Yeah, the thing is, like, when we were talking about it, the reason it won so much, the reason that it got as far as it did and was a number one seed is it's a perfectly mapped out scene.
To be fair, we probably shouldn't be talking about this because I assume you talk about it on the actual episode.
Yeah.
Go listen to that episode.
Yes, for viewers and listeners, go watch the full thing. But it's mapped perfectly, and no one maps an action scene better than Steven Spielberg. Nobody does. You perfectly understand it as a viewer.
Is he the one who made that dinosaur movie?
Jurassic Park. Yes.
Was that in consideration? That T-Rex scene's cool.
It made it into the final against Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes.
That was the 1v1. Oh, you guys are just sucking that dude's dick hard, huh?
He's the best director of all time. What do you expect?
Steven Soderbergh, you said?
Steven Spielberg, you son of a bitch.
Oh, he made Ocean's 11.
Do not disparage the good goddamn name of Steven Spielberg, okay?
He also made Magic Mike. I didn't know that.
Soderbergh did, not Spielberg, yes.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about.
Also a good director. And Magic Mike, I'll give it to you. It's a good movie. It's not a bad movie.
World's most famous Steven. Did you know there's a new Magic Mike coming out? And
yes.
By coming out, I mean came out 2 years ago?
Yes, I did.
Channing Tatum's back. Holy crap. Okay.
Well, Channing Tatum also just got announced for Avengers Doomsday, so.
Is he also a wrestler?
Channing Tatum? No.
He looks like he would be best friends with John Cena.
He was in the movie Foxcatcher, which is about the murder that happened at the Olympic wrestling camp in the mid-90s, which is also the camp that Kurt Angle trained at as he was getting his Olympic gold medal.
Fun. Do Channing Tatum and John Cena kiss in that film?
No, John Cena wasn't in that film.
Oh, oh, got it. Okay. All right. Now I'm just looking up characters and actors that were in Magic Mike 3, which means I could close this tab.
I believe the only wrestler, I don't know if he's in Magic Mike 3, but the only wrestler I know of in Magic Mike is Kevin Nash.
Oh, hold
Because
on. Magic Mike Kevin
he's
Nash.
7 foot tall. And I think they
How
call him,
old is Kevin Nash?
when they made the original Magic Mike, oh god, that was 2012. Kevin, early 50s. Yeah.
Kevin Nash is smoldering like a motherfucker in this picture. He is trying to look as hot as he possibly can, and it's very funny.
I mean,
It's
there's a
when
reason
dudes
in the
try to look
90s his
sexy,
nickname
it's
was Big
hilarious.
Sexy. Like,
God, I want. Did he just use that face back in the day too?
maybe. I don't know. I'm not looking at the
Oh,
picture.
wait. I'm gonna do my best approximation.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Sadly, I know the look because
I,
I've seen enough wrestling.
when you see him do that face, are you just like, "Damn, that's Mr. Sexy"?
No, I just go, damn, I really like your friends in wrestling more than I like you in a wrestling ring. I like Kevin the human being, but Kevin's
Mhm.
not the best in-ring worker. I love the work rate, you know.
He looks like a magician. Like he looks like he does street magic.
A 7 foot tall street magician is what you're telling me?
He's not 7 feet tall because he's like way shorter than Channing Tatum, and Channing Tatum is 4'11".
Are you
How
are
tall
you
is
even looking at the right fucking person right now?
Kevin Hart is 5'5".
Oh my god. You fucking chaotic mess.
He really is 6'10". That's
I
crazy.
fucking told you. I've seen Kevin Nash in person. It's no
But he's
joke.
no Paul White. Paul White's 7 foot.
Yes. But Paul White wasn't as charismatic as a performer as Kevin Nash, so
For the viewers at home, Paul White is the Big Show.
Paul White is the Big Show, and he's being paid handsomely to do absolutely nothing for the bargain bin wrestling division known as All Elite Wrestling. And their fucking Momo owner, who's an idiot. The
I don't know
fucking,
what Momo means in this
fucking Mark Tony Khan. Fucking hate that guy. God, he ruins pro wrestling.
What is Momo?
Generally, I'm going to be honest. I got to do some more research. I looked into it one time. I got it from Joey Diaz and just kind of went with it because it sounds great and I love it. But, yeah. Got to do some more research.
Diaz. I don't know who Joey Diaz is either.
He's a comedian. I think he might be one that you know.
I know that guy. Yeah. Isn't he like extremely profoundly Italian?
He looks it, but I don't know if he is it. I don't think he is.
I guess his last
Italian.
name's Diaz. Does he sound extremely Italian?
A little bit, oddly.
I feel like and this could just be me thinking of an entirely different comedian. But in my mind, he sounds like how a squirrel will like pack away nuts. Like he's just packing away meatballs in the back of his throat.
A little bit.
At all times whenever he's talking.
A little bit. Joey's very fun to listen to.
Should I be careful about talking smack about Joey Diaz since he's also in the podcasting game?
I mean,
I'm gonna get you in trouble.
If we get into a beef with Joey Diaz, it would be a dream come true because I would just laugh my ass off at how he just fucking roasts us, and I wouldn't care. So
wait, why do you assume he'd be mean to us? I think he'd be nice to me.
You just said a beef, so like, why wouldn't we? Like,
well, it'd be like a fun beef, like the Kendrick Drake one.
Yeah,
we that just, was like politely call him a pedophile.
Yeah, that was so fun for Drake, I'm sure. Also, fuck Drake, but whatever. This is also it's also important to note. What snap did you send me this morning?
Yeah, they were playing pedophile music at the dentist
because they were playing Drake.
Well, no, they were playing Not Like Us.
Oh, I was gonna say so.
I was in the dentist, and they're just like, "Hey, Drake, I heard you like him young." Like, Jesus fucking Christ! Someone's trying to rip my teeth out today.
That's at 9:30 this morning. I received a snap of Not Like Us, and I just went. It was just Angelo just pointing up to the speaker in the corner of the room, just going like,
What rating are your podcasts allowed to be?
It can be whatever. I don't give a fuck. You know.
When I was at the dentist, the dental assistant who was doing the flossing for my teeth, she just like kept putting her titty on my head. And it was just like, damn, I've been single a while. And I was like, okay, this must be an accident. And then afterwards, I was like, I don't know, she doesn't have that much titty. So, like, I feel like she has to really be trying to get the titty on my face. I don't know. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
She was very gentle with the flossing. I told her that and she took it as a compliment. I didn't know if it was a compliment when I was saying it, but she seemed happy about it.
Well, it seems like you might have to go after your dental hygienist.
Yeah, well, in 6 months, because that's when my next appointment is.
Oh, you don't just
like to keep investing. I just write my phone number on my teeth. So you guys get floss. Oh no, we pulled your teeth out in the wrong order, so she accidentally called the number in Sweden.
So stupid.
Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
We've gotten slightly off topic.
No.
Rhythm Heaven is the greatest video game of all time.
I strongly disagree, but that's okay.
Name one video game better than Rhythm Heaven, and then name 5 trans people better than Rhythm Heaven.
So Skyrim would be on my my automatic video game one.
Skyrim's your favorite trans person of all time.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shut the fuck up. Skyrim and Breath of the Wild, they're both better than Rhythm Heaven. And I'd say The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is better than that.
Breath of the Wild, let me think about that. None of them have, like, rhythm to them.
Yes, but they're just actually fun.
You know what I'm realizing? I think it's a white dude thing.
Yeah, it's a white dude thing.
Have you seen that YouTube video from 18 years ago called How to Dance Like a White Guy?
No.
Okay.
Can't wait for you to show it to me the next time we see each other because you're going to take over YouTube again like you do every time you're at my household. And you're just going to show me inane bullshit from YouTube from 18 years ago. And the fact that YouTube is 20 years old this fucking year is wild. So
I'm just saying you've got lore to get back to. Is YouTube 20 years old? Because this video is from 18 years ago.
2005.
And specifically, it's like the video is older than that. But it was just one of those videos that you had to share by, like, bringing a burned DVD over to your friend's house to show them this, like, minute and 46-second long clip.
Well, especially because half our friends growing up didn't have good enough internet service to actually play YouTube properly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real. Could you recreate the dial-up sound with your mouth?
I don't think so.
Give it your best attempt. Keep going.
I can't even remember what dial-up sounds like because it's been so long. That's actually the pondering. I would try it. You know I'd try it, but yeah. Yeah, that's the part I remembered.
You know, I think we can actually just look up the dial-up sound. Dial-up sound. Let's see. I'm going to do a quick... Yeah, this is it. I'm going to drop this in the chat.
Great. So I can loop that into this.
I want to see if this is the correct sound. This is it.
Yeah, that's definitely it. I hear it. She's so happy.
I love that part.
I like how you said, let's get back on topic, and then immediately took us back off topic.
This is on topic.
On topic. All right,
this is on the topic of Nintendo virtual game cards.
So why do you tell us about these virtual game cards and why you hate them and why you have a beef with them?
Okay, so Nintendo has digital account stuff. I don't fully understand how it works. I have a Steam Deck. Alongside that, they like allow you to have like a Nintendo family plan, and if you're on an account, you can like activate your games on other stuff or whatever. They've introduced virtual game cards as the idea. And the idea is that, like, oh, you know how you have your game card and you can lend it to a friend. Now you can do that with your virtual ones, too. Which, like, okay, that's conceptually kind of cool. Except it is entirely dependent upon local connection. So, in order to, like, transfer a game card, you need to be physically in person and do a local network like device transfer where you say like, "Hey, you're here, I'm here. You now have this card and it's on your Switch for the next 2 weeks." And my my assumption is the reason that they're doing this is that people are sharing their accounts with friends, going online, downloading all their games, then going offline and just playing those games offline for as long as they want.
Yeah.
I assume that's what people are doing. And the thing that I hate about this, because it's the thing, whatever, it's the thing that all companies
It's
do.
just anti-consumer bullshit. Yeah.
It's anti-consumer bullshit being presented and spun as like, we've got great news. We have a new virtual game card lending system. And then you look into it and you're like, oh, you're taking away like half of my access and features. You're removing the ability for me to do a thing that I like to do.
Yeah.
Because like you really want people to keep buying your fucking games. Which like, whatever, I get it. But also, I like piracy. So I like...
Well, I don't want to make a case for piracy as I'm not a participant of it, and you can honestly say that I'm not, but because the many times you're like, I can do this, I'm like, I just don't. I'm happy just doing my little thing and buying 4 games a year and whatever.
Nintendo has so much money.
Well, I mean, they have the highest grossing media franchise of all time, so yes, they're making money, and it's Pokemon. We talk about this all the time, motherfucker.
I know.
And then they're trying to get as many old Star Wars games as possible, and trust me, they're trying to get any Hello Kitty game that's ever been made, so they can get all the top 3. But
$13.4 trillion.
And it's even worse right now. It's gonna get
wait. 13.4 trillion JPY, which I'm assuming stands for GP. GP to USD. 100,000 million trillion. Is that 89 trillion US dollars?
I doubt
that
it.
That can't be right.
No, that's wrong. There's
no
way.
Let's presume billion. It's got to be billion.
No, they've made a shit ton of money. I don't think it's in the trillions yet, but it wouldn't be shocking if it was in the 9-figure range. I think it's definitely in the 9-figure range. Or I'm sorry,
billion is still
I'm sorry, in the 11-figure range. I'm doing my own math wrong. So, yeah. 11 to 12-figure range. But I mean, I'm currently dealing with this in the negative way that Pokemon fucking sucks right now, and it really bothers me because.
Why does Pokemon suck? I'm out of the loop.
So, it's specifically as a card collector. You know, the last, 2020, late 2021, early 2022, I got back into Pokemon card collecting. And I was having a good time with it, and then I started ripping packs on the channel and having some fun, right? So, the last 2 to 3 sets that they have released have been so obviously collector specific, where they are going into, we are trying to make things that are obviously trying to get pricing up exponentially high. So for instance, they released the Prismatic Evolution set. So in 2021 or whatever the fuck year it was, during the Sword and Shield card sets, they had Evolving Skies, and they had all these beautiful full art Evolution cards that everyone fucking loved. It was like the VMAX copies of the Evolutions. And the prices on those spiked because they were so popular. Then, this one, but that set at least had 10 other cards that they weren't the same level of popularity, but they still rose in value. There was still a full set behind it. And it was a very popular set that just grew. But then the scalping market took over, where if you went to a card show trying to find it, or you went to a game store that still sold single packs or whatever, a normal pack of Pokemon cards you get for $5. Popular ones you can get for $7. Evolving Skies, if you find a pack for less than $25, just take it. Because it's almost impossible to find a pack of Evolving Skies anymore. Prismatic Evolution, the whole marketing campaign has been, look at these beautiful full art Terra Evolutions. They didn't release any in single form, so you can't just go to a Target and pack up and get one loose pack. You have to buy an ETB or a booster bundle at the very least. And then the scalping market took over so fast that an ETB that usually retails for $45 to $60, give or take the quality of it.
Tell me what an ETB is.
It's the Elite Trainer box, and in that box you get anywhere from 8 to 10 packs, the dice to play the game, the counters to play the game, a guidebook on how to play the game, and then there's usually one illustration card that's a promo card specific to that set, right? Those ETBs.
How much does an ETB cost?
That retail, it goes anywhere from the smaller ones that are like 8 packs could be 40 up to as high as 60 for the ones that are like 10 packs that are very clearly the more priority whatever. And I'm talking like prices you just walk into a Target and buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I walked into a local comic book store in Santa Barbara, California when we were in town because we were there for a wedding. And ETB was $180 for 9 packs of Pokemon cards.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But how much of that is that going to the...
It's the resale market.
Local card store, or is it going to Nintendo?
No, I mean, it's going to the local card store, but the thing is this was such a clear example of we are going to feed the wrong beast. Like they intentionally went, we're going to keep the printings lower on this. We're not going to give single packs, so you don't have that defense mechanism to say, okay, I can't afford an ETB even on the first-hand market, let alone the second-hand market, but maybe I can get my hands on a couple loose packs at my local GameStop if I'm in a smaller area that doesn't get raided by fucking, Pokemon fans. I can get a couple of them, and maybe I get to open up 4 packs for $20, but I at least get to be a part of it. I at least get to have it. Mm-hmm. I've stopped buying new packs for the last 3 sets because it's just not fun anymore. It's just blown up into the second they go on sale on the Pokemon Center website, which is the official Pokemon merchandise one that kind of oversees all of the Pokemon card sales. Mm-hmm. The second they go on sale, the bots just take them immediately, and they immediately get spiked up in price on the second-hand market because they're all for specialty sites like TCG Player or game stores or all these other things where they just immediately go, well, if you want this booster bundle with 6 packs in it that should cost you $24, well, you're going to pay us $75 now. I'm like, I'm not paying $75 for 6 packs of Pokemon cards that are brand new. I don't, I've occasionally thought of, for content purposes, when we're at a card show, like Brandon and I, finding like a classic pack that's really popular, if I could find it for the right price, being like, you know what? If I had the money to fuck around and buy a Gym Heroes or Gym Challenge set, which was my favorite from when we were kids, that released in 2000, if I could find the right price pack and just have some fun and make some content out of it, and try to look for cards that I'm looking for anyways, sure. Just a fun throwaway fuck it moment. One time. Not a big deal. Yeah. But that's a product that's 25 years out of print. This is something that's being printed right now.
That they're actively creating, and they're making it with the intent of, like, scarcity.
Right, and then I brought up the Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge because I'm actively trying to hunt down all those cards. Those are the ones I'm most interested in. I'm trying to get all the Gen 1 sets, but that's the one I'm most interested in. They have a new one. Is it Destined Rivals or... No, it's Journey Together, and then there's Destined Rivals. Journey Together is the modern version of Gym Heroes, where they actually put, like, instead of Zekrom, it's N Zekrom, and N will be in the actual shot. And they'll have a little picture of N on the card. And it's meant to be very much like the Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes series, where it's like, oh, this is Team Rocket's Mewtwo. This is Blaine's Arcanine or Blaine's Charizard. And because of that, not only the secondary market on the old shit spiked, which is pissing me off, but on top of it, even the new stuff, that's not as bad as Prismatic Evolution, but it just released on Friday. You can't find anything, and a single pack is already $8. You're like 10 cards for $8 on something that's brand new. It's like, fuck you. I'm not paying this shit.
I would like to share a hot take.
Yes.
I think collecting of non-functional things just generally is kind of a waste of time.
I understand that. And generally,
specifically, it's like,
outside of the few things that I really like, I completely agree, and I know that the things I like aren't inherently an exception, it is somewhat silly.
It's more specifically like it just feels like something that exploits human characteristics in a way that I find like abhorrent. And I'm trying to like process the like how do I word it? I'm not better than people just because I don't like collecting stuff. But like
You do have your little collections of stuff. You just have a different collecting mindset than other people.
so that's why I made the distinction of like collecting non-functional things because like I have a lot of musical instruments.
Yes, you do.
Like I would say I have a collection of musical instruments, but like the distinction is that like every one of those grants me access to like something I would not have access to otherwise.
Sure.
And that's technically also true in like a card game or whatever. But like
It's not the same. It's not the
it's
same.
it's all based around made up rules. Where like I think a lot about games in the sense of the imagination space. Of like once you are willing to enter the imagination space for a game, which is a big reason of why I really love things like mods and PC gaming, is like you open up the possibility for anything to be anything. And that is like so much cooler and more creative than like you need this like Pokemon Company mandated piece of paper if you want a Zekrom with 130 HP of the electric type with the moves Slash that does 30 damage and Wild Shock that does 130. Like you could also write all that on a piece of paper and not pay $20 and still play the game functionally identically.
1000%.
And like that aspect of collecting where they make it exploitative is extremely frustrating to me and I find like really, really gross.
And I would like to add that in detriment to myself and other collectors, we're part of the problem. It's not as if it's just like, as much as you want to just shout at the clouds of corporate greed, because corporate greed's always going to be there, there is also the option of you don't have to participate, and you're choosing to, and then, like, for instance, Saturday, I went to a card show because I was like, oh shit, I forgot the Madison card show's on today. I got nothing to do. Ab's got to take a nap because she's working night shift for the first time in a long time anyways. So we walked to the library, we voted, we got her a cup of coffee, went to the bank and got a little bit of money out. I was like, okay, here's my limit. I can't go over this. I can't go overboard. But I'm just going to go have a fun day and just try to hunt down some of the stuff that I like. And some of that's cheap, some of that's not so cheap. And just being around the amount of people that are just like also pouring into it. And I'm also there going like, well, I want some of it, but I just have the discipline to say no. Where I found the lesser versions of those hunt cards that were $2 a piece, and I was like, sure, I'll buy those because it's fun to have a Sylveon EX card for $2. Fine. It looks pretty. I like Sylveon. Ab's happy because she gets her evolutions. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, it's fucking brutal on us as well to just be like, I can't believe they do this. It's like, we're the idiots that keep fucking buying it. Or we're the idiots that want to buy it. So can you really blame them? But at the same time, yeah, it sucks when
you can really blame them.
I blame them more from the standpoint of this one so much felt like this is how we're going to drive up Pokemon card price value exponentially. So now a pack of Pokemon cards will go even further away from what they should be. Because like when we were kids, what they sold for $3 a pack, and it was still not the cheapest thing at the time in terms of 98 to 2000 pricing, but it was something that was generally accessible to everybody. Now, like, when a pack of Pokemon cards is $5, $6, $7, and you're like, well, I have to, if I even wanted to try to play, I have to buy a deck, or if I want to try to build a deck, I can't just buy 6 packs because there's no way it's going to be functioning as a 60 card deck. Like, fuck it.
Have you played the mobile Pokemon card game?
Yeah, Ashley and I played a little bit together, and there's a few other people I've played it with. It's not bad. It's just very much the first like week or two you play it, it's fun because you get the rush of opening cards with the guilt-free mentality if I don't have to pay money for it. But then eventually the game restrictions apply. And then you're like, well, I'm just opening this every 12 hours so I can rip open a 5-pack of Pokemon cards and get the same things over and over again. And it's the same sensation, but it's not even the rush of having a tangible thing in your hand. And you're just like, what the like, who fucking cares? Like,
Yeah.
And so after, like, I think it was a month, I was playing consistently for a month, but very much it was concentrated to 2 weeks. If a new challenge came up where I could actually play the game, I would do it. But then I was like, I'm opening this to rip non-existent packs. What's the fucking point of this game? You know? It's so stupid.
It's funny because, like, when I hear that, my thought is actually, like, that, in my mind, is almost better than actual physical, tangible cards.
It kind of is. I understand
you're not paying money for it. Because, like, I don't know, like, at least it's effortless. Just... And you make funny colors pop up on my screen.
Yes, it's
but
just
like as soon as the money gets involved, it's like, oh, this is the worst.
Right, and so I've never spent a dime on it. Where I've spent very little, but I've spent some money on Pokemon Go over the almost 10 years. Jesus Christ, the game's almost been out for 10 years. Jesus Christ, that it's been out. I've spent $20 on Pokemon Go. So it was just like I had nothing to do. And I was like, I'll spend $5 to just get an adventure pack quick so I can have an excuse to walk for 5 hours. Sure, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, I understand from a practicality standpoint, it's free and you don't have the burden of buying shit, physical items. Yeah, that's awesome, and that makes it more tangible, a more tangibility factor for everybody. But at the same time, it doesn't have nearly as much of the reward as opening a pack of Pokemon cards. So you're like,
you can't put it on your shelf.
And whereas, I can go over here and just be like, hey, this is really pretty and I like this. And hey, that one time that I spent $5 and I got $25 out of it.
There's also
the hundreds of packs that I got jack shit value-wise out of, and I'm just like chasing the fucking dragon as if it matters, which is why I often have to remind myself of what Ab says all the time to us.
What?
Oh, when Brandon and I, because Brandon's a huge collector, and Brandon gets his shit graded by TCG. By PSA. I've graded 3 cards, and it's simply to protect them and to raise them in value in case of insurance property. So, like, there's a Charizard card where it's like non-graded was $200, and it goes up to $500 if you get the right grade, and I got the right grade. And I was like, you know what? It puts in a nice little thing to protect it. I have trade value if I ever want to go to a card show and just go, hey, graded by the authority. Give me what I want in a trade. Real. Or I can just go, if anything happens in our household, or we're in an apartment building, the sprinklers go off or something, I can be like, hey, that was valued. I have the receipts. This is valued at X amount. Please help a brother fucking out that I lost this collection. Whereas like some of the other stuff I have, it's like, okay, well, it's just loose shit in a binder. How much can you say it's worth? So even though I truly have, at this point, possibly thousands of dollars on this bookcase behind me of legitimate Pokemon cards. So, I don't know.
I feel like one of the aspects of card collecting that is particularly funny to me is the ways that it will prey on our funny little monkey brains, just being like, oh, I like shiny. Because I've definitely seen holographic cards and been like, oh, fuck yeah.
Exactly.
That Pikachu, like, is reflective. That's cool. And, like, I've got friends who are also just, like, into rocks and stones. And it's a similar thing of, like,
this one's shiny.
Damn, that's shinier than the other one. I like that.
Exactly.
And, like, anytime I think about that for more than, like, a second, I feel like humans are the stupidest fucking animals in the world. Because, like, we'll just spend thousands of dollars on shiny. And it's just, like, you get it, and it's like...
I mean, you have it on your neck, and you have it on your wrists right now, and your ears.
Literally, yes. Like, I do it. I'm shiny.
Where I have a cheap black nose ring and a one of the cheapest fucking wedding bands you could have, and that's like. But I'm not a jewelry guy, so. But my shiny comes in this format or the card format, so it's like or
Cool.
the fucking comic book where I'm like, ooh, that's old paper that matters to me, like
That paper smells old. Ew,
oh, Defenders #1. Oh, it has a #1 on it, so therefore it's so much better. And you're like, no, it doesn't. But
I would like to call out quickly because I was thinking about it when we were looking at some of the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
Pokemon Showdown, cool, so cool, coolest thing in the world.
Oh, the Coliseum reboot looking one? Is that one?
No. Pokemon Showdown is a like online PC Pokemon battle simulator that you can do against other people. So you can just like conjure up a team and then do online PvP with all of the like full Pokemon rule set. And it's just like this free fan project that a bunch of people have put like thousands and thousands of like man hours into.
Good on them.
It's the coolest thing in the world. Like imagining this alongside the like Pokemon card app thing of what if you could do that and then also just say like give me A through Z cards which I want for my team and just load it up and now do the battling. Like that stuff is like so cool to me. But also artificial scarcity, it's a whole thing. I get it.
Yeah, no, I get it. And the thing is this, I'm also talking as a frustrated person where I came back and Ab's like, "Oh, how'd the card show go?" And I was like, "I think I'm done for a while." I can't honestly look at her and say, "I'm never buying this again." I can't do that because I'm going to hunt down the last few things that I need to complete the sets that I want. But thankfully, the only good part of my collector brain is I'm close to collecting the things I want. And I'm already kind of out on the new Pokemon cards. So outside of content or just having fun with Brandon and Laura and Ab occasionally, I don't really think I'm going to go back into the modern Pokemon thing until it calms down a fucking lot and becomes fun again. And I'm just like, all right, well, once I complete these sets, I'm damn close to it, I'm done. I don't need to go to a fucking card show and hunt down that really cool card that I don't really need. I don't need to do this. It's fine. I have tens of thousands of Pokemon cards that I will never use, that are going to sit in a box, that don't even have the binder treatment, that are just going to sit in a fucking box. Like, to the point where I might just ask, because we need prizes at work, I might just ask, do you guys want to buy some of my old Pokemon cards for really cheap so we have prizes for the kids? Like, just so I can get some money out of this.
Don't do it for real cheap. Do it for very expensive. Make your job give you a lot of money.
But we're talking about the cards that if you go on like, so the Authority,
they don't know what cards are worth, and don't tell them. Just get as much money as you can.
You know I'm an honest person. I can't do that.
No, you should lie to your boss at all times.
But I like my bosses. They actually take care of me and respect me as a human being now.
You are doing it wrong. You're not supposed to like your boss. I promise you, your boss does not like you. If they could, they would stab you in the back.
My bosses are actually pretty cool right now, so I kind of dig them.
What's their full government name?
Their full government name is none of your business.
Ooh, okay. I was about to Manchurian candidate them.
Nice try.
I have an announcement for your Pokemon loving audience.
All right.
Which is Pokemon Emerald Sea Glass 3.0 patch has just dropped. And it is
that's actually important.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's Pokemon Emerald, but in the art style of like the old school like GBA Pokemon games, and it's a really cool little passion project. I'm gonna put a little link to this in our chat right after the Sound of Dial-Up Internet link, and
that's a link that might actually get put into the description because admittedly I kind of suck at remembering to do this because I just get distracted. So I will write myself.
You just get distracted with recording 17 other podcasts.
How dare you? I'm down to 2 podcasts now.
At a time. 2 simultaneous podcasts being recorded.
Shh! Don't reveal the fucking secrets.
There's just a GBA. Hold on. This is just a GBA version of the little apple guy. Look at the bottom left corner, that little apple dragon. It's just like a GBA version of him. That looks sick.
Nice.
I just like art.
So
that's you know what? That part of card games I get.
I was just about to say.
I love looking at art. But like, that's why a mobile thing is kind of cooler, because like, let me zoom in. The art's so small.
Mm-hmm.
Little card art's so small. Let me get closer to it.
So I will say
they make
that's
so much
kind of when I get discouraged. That's what I go into. I'm like, well, it's just art.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, it also just sits in a binder. So how much you appreciating the art?
Yeah. I like,
but it's
art
successive. It's
at.
sequential art with numbers on the bottom, so that can tell you, well, this is number 1 in the set. And then when you miss one, and then all of a sudden you get that gratifying feeling going, ooh, I put it in the sequential order. It's a nice little rush there. It's a nice little dopamine hit.
When you get 1, 2, and 4, and then you get 3, that's a good. Wow.
I also want to say, I want to get back to the Nintendo stuff, but because I think there's more there. However, I do want to say this: all Pokemon is. I love Pokemon. I'm kind of out on it right now. I'm not crazy about what they've released for Legends ZA.
Mm-hmm.
But again, love letters to the fans. You could never play another new Pokemon game for the rest of your life that's actually been licensed by Nintendo and published by Nintendo, and you could still have the most wonderful Pokemon fan experience ever by just going and downloading someone's games, because the experiences half the time are so much better, or they just take the game that you already love and give you the ability to play with the Pokemon you always wanted. And you can do so many different challenges with them, like a randomized playthrough through Gen 8 on Fire Red is fucking fun. You know, and like I did it with and then it was also fun. I had so many choices that my playthrough, I played as Chapel Roan, and I was like, okay, Pink Pony Club. This fucking Pokemon has to have pink in its evolutionary line somewhere, otherwise it can't be on the team. That was the whole that was the whole point of the team. Where I was just like, no, it has to have pink somewhere in its evolutionary line to be on the team.
I like that idea a lot. That's very fun.
I have the whole eventually I will edit that into a video and release it on the channel. Because I have all the footage.
Do you wear the hat? Do you have the pink pony hat on?
No, but here's the thing. I recorded the game footage, but I didn't record myself, so then I could write the narrative to it, and then do the... I was going to do the hat and a set of makeup for it, so...
Good.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to do it right. You know I'm going to do my girl Chapel right.
I have a recommendation for your Pokemon-loving audience.
What would that be?
If they are looking for a fun Pokemon fan game experience, I recommend that they get a PlayStation 1 and play Digimon World. Because Digimon World has... you have Digimon, and they can go poo-poo. And if you don't take them to the toilet to go poo-poo, they become a poo-poo monster.
This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
And that happened to me like 10,000 fucking times when trying to evolve my goddamn Agumon. And it was so frustrating.
Be a better Digidestin then.
I'm playing it. Oh.
Be a better Digidestin then.
I should have been good to him. I remember spending like a full like 45 minutes just giving him like hot dogs and petting him behind the ear. And I was like, he's definitely going to evolve. I've done nothing but love him. And then he was like, I pooped on the floor and I'm becoming the poop monster. And I wanted to rip my goddamn child hair out. I was so mad. Please tell me
I've told you the story about how for a few hours of my life I was convinced I could tell the future based on Digimon.
Tell me about that.
So, do you remember the Digimon movie coming out in the year 2000?
Vaguely.
So, I got one of the toys ahead of time, but it was just like given to me. I didn't like seek it out, and I correctly guessed the name of the Digimon prior to it, and then they're like, oh, it's Rapidmon. I was like, oh, I'm a fucking genius. And so for like an hour or two I was like, I think I could tell the future. I know shit that hasn't happened yet. How was I supposed to know that in this movie they were going to announce that this Digimon was named Rapidmon? But then I also was like, now as an adult, I'm like, you easily could have saw a piece of fucking toy marketing prior and been like, Rapidmon.
That's magical realism. You have to accept that part. That part's real.
Yeah, so for an hour of my life, I thought I could tell the future because I correctly guessed Rapidmon's name from the Digimon movie. Which also, fun experience as a kid. I haven't rewatched it since being a kid, but...
how familiar are you with the guy who made the Digimon movie?
0%. Here's what I remember about it. It's kind of like two movies put into one because they kind of have an ending middle of the way through, and then they get a new ending. And they play "Kids in America" by Kim Wilde, and I'm okay with that shit.
They do. So the Digimon movie from the 2000s is made by Mamoru Hosoda,
Okay.
and he's also the guy who made The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Belle.
Huh.
And The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is like a genuinely really great movie, and Belle is a kind of ass story in a like really really beautifully animated like whatever anime film with genuinely incredible music throughout. But before he made those two movies, actually between those two movies, he also made Summer Wars, which is not the Digimon movie, but has the same storyline as the Digimon movie. It's just like genericized for a general like anime audience rather than for like the Digimon loving audience. And I think it is like an absolutely fascinating double feature to watch the Digimon movie and then Summer Wars and see him basically do the like whatever Darren Aronofsky, the wrestler versus the whale
Uh-huh.
of like, oh, you just did it again. You took the same concept, you just did it again. It's fascinating.
Also, I have to give you a big thank you for bringing up Digimon, because I was telling Angelo this prior to the show. My wife and I have another couple that we're very dear friends with that we now started doing movie night on Sundays and dinner, but it's movies from our childhood that kind of made us who we are because they were part of that weird. Ab has a theory that every family that was like a millennial family had a collection of VHS tapes, and every family had those 5 to 10 VHS tapes that almost no other family had. And those were the VHS tapes that formed your personality. So for instance,
big.
We watched The Birdcage as of recording last night, and that was one of Ab's childhood movies that she just was formed by, which is so funny because that's not a childhood movie, but whatever.
Yeah.
But damn good movie. Highly recommend. Directed by Mike Nichols, Robin Williams, just being awesome. But yeah, it's just fun. So I might go real deep pull when it's my turn and give Digimon the movie a shot in this. But I think the other three might riot if I say we're watching Digimon the movie.
I don't think so. I feel like people liked that movie. Or people have like a positive memory experience with it.
I don't know. I think I'd have better shots with the Pokemon, the first movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna have better odds with that, but you're not playing to the crowd. Why would you play to the crowd? That's boring. Evan, you're being a bad host right now. Do you realize that?
Why? Why am I being a bad host?
Because you brought up the idea that every millennial has like a VHS or whatever that like uniquely defined them that only their family owned, and you didn't even think to ask me what mine was.
Well, I was about to ask you what it was, so how dare you?
Don't
Yes,
you play that game?
Actually, I fucking was.
Oh.
So fuck you.
Actually, I already know what that means, but what do you think it means? Looking ass. But what was your pick for your movie?
So I think I'm gonna go with the Goonies, only because I was gonna go with a movie called Wild America.
Don't saw the Goonies. Don't
No.
do the Goonies.
So here's the thing.
That's like one of the biggest movies ever.
I agree, but oddly, the people I hang out with haven't always seen the Goonies, which is why I was like, okay.
I haven't seen the Goonies either. It seems like a bad movie, but like everyone else has.
First and foremost, you shut your fucking whore mouth. The Goonies is amazing.
No opinions. I haven't seen it. It seems bad.
Fucking watch it, and you'll understand my personality real quick. Second of all, Goonies never say die. Third of all,
Means something to someone.
it does
Someone's
to me.
smiling.
I was gonna go with Wild America, which is a very deep pull for many
Better
people.
It's a better answer. I don't know
But-
that movie. That's why it's a better answer.
But I brought it up on week 1 of this idea, and then our friends went and watched it because one of them actually knew what the movie was, and I flipped shit because other than me and Dylan, no one in my life has ever known what Wild America is when I brought it up in conversation. But it's an early Jonathan Taylor Thomas hit, and by hit I mean most likely direct-to-home video VHS tape. But
Hell yeah.
It's based on a true story of an actual interesting true story where it's three brothers from Arkansas in their teens like went out on a road trip in the late
Oh, like the movie Road
60s.
Trip.
They went out on a road
Yeah.
trip in the late 60s and they were nature documentarians and they just went to try to find the biggest predators that still existed in North America at the time. And they got a
Uh-huh.
bunch of great footage and then eventually got that produced as a television product and had it narrated by Robert Redford as like a primetime special at the height of Robert Redford's fucking career as an actor. And you're like, that's really cool that just three kids from Arkansas were like, what if we made this nature documentary and got one of the biggest stars on the planet to narrate it for us? And it
Do the voice
happened.
for us. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, fuck yeah, that's cool, man. That's fucking cool that that happened. So,
Is Jonathan Taylor Thomas still alive?
yes.
That sucks.
Why does that suck?
Do you know that he's 5'5"?
Yes.
Hell yeah. I'm taller than him.
I'm so thrilled for you that you're
Um, Evan, did you
taller
know-
than 90s childhood television sweetheart JTT.
Evan, did you know that you're being a very bad host right now?
What'd I do this time?
You still haven't asked.
Just because you cut me off 1,000 fucking times.
No, I asked you your movie because I am a gracious host who's not even hosting.
You're right.
I'm just
You're the host of the
answering.
ONETA Show. Angelo Gonzalez.
All right, as the host of the ONETA Show, here's my top 5 trans people of all time.
What is your childhood movie that you would say is a unique pull for you?
I just threw a JPEG in the chat. The first DVD my family ever owned was Salem's Lot. And
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest, I kind of barely watched it, but specifically remember that vampire's face, and it's so good. It's so creepy and weird. He's got the green eyes and the real snaggly teeth, and oh man, it's so sick. But other than that, the one that my family watched a ton of, that is weirdly impactful is my my Nina, loaned us her copy of the DVD for Rat Race,
Huh.
and then for probably a 9-month period, every day we came home from school,
You watched
we'd be
Rat Race?
you guys want to put on? Yeah, let's put on Rat Race, and we would just watch through Rat Race. So I have a weird affection for Mr. Bean, but I've seen nothing of Mr. Bean other than his performance in Rat Race. Rowan Atkinson is the Rat Race. There's a race. I'm going to win, guy. That's all he is to me. And I know he's done other stuff. It's probably more important. Probably matters more. But Rat Race, choice, absolutely choice.
I think that's what you just described is the experience that we really wanted to highlight. Was back in the day, people don't kids. I'm gonna sound like an old man screaming at the clouds. Kids don't get it because they have the streaming services available to them. Back in the day, you had a collection of movies that your family bought or obtained somehow, and you just rewatched the fuck out of them a lot because that's what you had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ab talks about it all the time. Her family wore out 3 fucking VHS copies of White Christmas because they watched that movie so many fucking times.
That's so Wisconsin.
The amount of times,
White Christmas.
yeah, you actually know what I should play because that's a real good insight into young Evan. Is the 1996-1997 Green Bay Packers Super Bowl tape because I watched that shit nonstop.
It's a great example.
I remember one time, it was 4th grade or 5th grade, I woke up at 1 a.m., wide awake, and I just snuck downstairs, and I just watched that 53-minute tape on loop. And I just would rewind it and play it again. And I rewound it and played it again. I was just like, hey, I know the whole thing backwards and forwards. I know the whole narration backwards and forwards. But this is NFL Films magic, and the Packers won the fucking Super Bowl. So, hell yeah.
So, I have thoughts here. And it's conflicting.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think there is something fascinating about having access to a thing and watching it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like because we grew up in that era, we consider that to be a virtue. even though it's only really something that was happening for like, I don't know, maybe like a 30-year period of human history.
Sure.
But so often people are like, this is what childhood is. This is what childhood was. And it's like not true for most of humanity throughout all of time.
Well, that's why I put the distinction originally, the millennial existence.
But so the reason I highlight it is because like for us, that is our existence. That's what we live through.
Yeah.
So it does feel like natural and intrinsic. And the other example of that for me that I was recently lamenting is the death of the mall.
Yes.
Because like that is such a core component of like the millennial upbringing is like me and my friends are gonna go to the mall and just fucking loiter. Just like walk around, not have money, but like
it's important. It's important to note that is also a Gen X and very late baby boomer thing as well.
Yes, but then like it's only that because like the mall was invented in 1950, but like when you
and the malls exploded in the 70s and the 80s and were dead by the late 90s, but it was still an institution for our generation to do. Yes.
It's specifically that there's this block of people who all exist during a time where the mall was normalized. So like for the historical experience of like the living human being in modern America, that is a shared thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it does feel like culturally like essential, even though if you go 2 generations beyond that, they're like the Great Depression. They didn't purchase anything. They didn't own things because like they were dying in gutters. And like the thing that the reason I mentioned that and where this like thought was brought to and where it ultimately terminates is this idea of there are so many things we consider central and essential to like the human experience, the American experience, the upbringing, the XYZ, etc. But like if you take history and look a little bit further back, there's often examples of like human beings prospering in different ways with different things. And isn't that so fascinating?
Well, it's also why one of my missions this year is I want to watch 100 movies I've never seen before. And not just new stuff. I don't count anything that came out in 2025 or 2024. So, for instance,
a movie for your list.
So I watched The Substance the other day, and I loved it. I thought The Substance was great. But at the same time, it doesn't count towards the list because, well, it's a new movie. You know, like, I'm not counting that. But if it came out 2023 or past simply because I was kind of out on movies for a little bit, I was like, all right, it'll count. Plus, The Holdovers were part of that, and I fucking love The Holdovers, which is why I counted it. But nonetheless. So what I love is going back and I feel a pressure as now the host of a movie podcast, and especially with someone who is my co-host who knows far more movies than I do, and I'm the less knowledgeable one, and 99 times out of 100, if I'm in a conversation with a normal person on the street, I am almost always more knowledgeable about movies than they are. Or at least movie history. Those things, because I've just watched more movies and I care about it. So I'm going back and trying to fill holes. And my favorite thing is to go watch period piece movies or to go watch movies that are fairly accurate from the 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 60s and 70s and just look at how different existence was. Because there's still modern references. They do the same things we do. But when they talk about a star, it's Frank Sinatra. You know, they're talking about Old Blue Eyes, where if a modern, you know, Taylor Swift and Beyonce get fucking name dropped all the time in modern movies because it's all they're the icons of today. Where back in the day they had their icons, it was just very different, you know. So
it was a different level of like popularity.
Yes, but I love looking at stuff like that and just seeing how, for instance, as of recording. This morning, I watched Bonnie and Clyde. It's from 1967. Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Gene Hackman. Great movie. Fucking loved it. But it's a look at a Depression-era team of bank robbers.
It was Runaway Bride, you said?
No. Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh,
Not Runaway Bride.
that's very funny.
And so 1967. And
Yep.
but it doesn't just go into the sizzle of, oh my god, they robbed banks. There's tons of time where they're just fucking driving a jalopy out in the fucking middle of nowhere going somewhere, and
Mhm.
it's like looking at a grocery store at the time, and you're like, god damn, grocery store is way different back then than what we have now. Or just looking at life, how different it
Mhm.
is. It's even why I love going back and watching 80s movies. You look at Back to the Future, and because we grew up with it and we were born at a time frame that was close enough where people could say, "Oh, that didn't come out that long ago." Back to the Future doesn't feel 40 years old to me. But
Mhm.
Back to the Future is fucking 40 years old now. And so you can look back at Back to the Future and be like, "God damn. The
Yeah.
middle of the 80s were a different time than what I'm in now or even what I grew up in."
Yeah.
But it's funny to just see the difference in how things play out. And what you're talking about, the shared existence, it's wild because our own entertainment's like there's a couple podcasts that I really really enjoy from The Ringer, and they were talking about kind of the loss of monoculture, as
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
it was a lot easier for everybody. Like, event movies don't really exist anymore outside of a few directors or a few things, because there's so many choices of movies, music,
Yeah.
television, social media, the way it's presented now. You don't have this really
Single
narrow
focal
lane to do
entity.
it. You don't have the singularity to get people. And I
Yeah.
think that's why when we're talking about the mall or we're talking about rewatching movies at a time, there's only so much to fucking do back in the day. And then
Yeah.
that's what kids or youth at the time did. Is like, well, I don't have a car, so I can't go anywhere, but my friends can get on their bike and come to my house, or I can go to their house, and we can either fuck around outside or we can watch a movie, or be
Yeah.
inside and put a movie on while we fuck around in the house.
Mhm.
That's just
I
what you did.
the a big part of why I was originally thinking through that process was specifically like I wanted to be thoughtful to not be critical of the upbringing of like current youth,
Yeah,
because like my takeaway is that like they are just having their own unique different experience.
absolutely.
The same way that our experience was actually more unique and different than it was for people 45 years earlier or whatever. Also, this podcast brought to you by Starry Zero Sugar. It's got
Here's the
it's
thing.
got 35 milligrams of
I
sodium.
wouldn't mind having the money of a Starry sponsorship. I can't speak to their product, and that puts me in a bad spot. I don't want to ever.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Glub, 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 glub. Yummy, yummy. How was it?
So good. I had an idea. I've been thinking about this for a while.
Wait. Before we get into that, would you like a piece of Angelo lore?
Yeah, of course I would.
It's not really lore. It's just a new habit, which is I drink a lot of fluid, which means I do a lot of pee pee.
Okay.
And in the upstairs room, next to where the pee pee happens, I have put up 3D printed pull up bars. And because I'm nursing a wrist injury,
Mm-hmm.
one of my goals has been I'm going to diet and I'm going to get abs. So, like, I'm working on getting abs.
Mm-hmm.
So, on those 3D printed pull up bars, I have little ab, like, sash things that you
Mm-hmm.
can, like, hook your arms into,
Yeah.
and you can do hanging leg raises there. So, every time I go to the bathroom to make pee pee happen, I also have to go into the other room and do 12 leg raises. And I've been doing
That's a
it's called
choice.
Grease the Groove is the name of it. And it has been a valuable process and it has been showing positive results, which is cool. And this sounds crazy. It's
Yes.
nice to have found an exercise for my abs that doesn't hurt my wrist,
Yeah.
because all of the good ab exercises use your wrists,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds stupid, but it's a thing. But yeah, I've been doing so. I mentioned that because I did 12 hanging leg raises like a minute and a half ago after I finished going pee pee. Brought to you by Starry.
I'm really excited for you. I'm really glad. I can attest you're getting your abs. They're coming
Slowly
through.
surely, man.
They're coming through.
I'm gonna be in Norway in about 100 days, and
Gotta look good.
I need Norway to see at least 4 abs.
You want Norway to know
4...
that not all Americans are lazy fucks.
You know what? That's a good point. I need at least 3 abs so that I can paint them red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
So that these Norwegian motherfuckers know where I really come from. One of my favorite recurring jokes that the group that I'm going to Norway with has is we keep joking that we're going to go to Norway, and anytime someone says something, we just say "shut up, foreigner." And that idea is conceptually very funny. It seems like an extremely American thing to just hear an accent and call them a foreigner, even though you are the one in the foreign land.
Yeah.
God. Shout out Chris. Shout out Nathan.
It's funny.
They're the dudes I'm going with.
Good deal.
You started this by saying, I've been thinking for a while about...
Well, I've been thinking about this idea of I am putting more effort into trying to widen the circle of people that come on this show, simply because a little bit more variety, never hurt nobody. Plus, I can tell my interest in making solo shows is at an all-time low. I will do it if I'm really excited about a topic, but there's been multiple times in the past month or two where something happens, and I'm like, oh, I should cover that, because it'd be an interesting topic, but I don't have anything to say, and I'll start recording the show, and I just go, I don't really have anything to add, so why am I doing this? I'm not happy. I don't think I'm going to get any results from this, other than, oh, wow, someone just spoke into the ether. You know, like, I'm not saying that all podcasts don't have that factor to them in some way, shape, or form, but at the very least, well, fuck, what was it? Well, one was self-editing where I didn't do a review for Captain America: Brave New World because that movie just fucking sucked. But it was just like everyone was.
You just didn't want to be the guy who's like just saying negative things about a Marvel movie.
Well, but I have no problem saying negative things about a Marvel movie if it's a negative movie. It's just more so I was like, I'm not adding anything to the conversation. I'm just going to say I'm going to say the same 4 things that everyone's going to gripe about. I'll find a different way to talk about the MCU, which I find to be a fascinating topic because I think it's a huge reflection of a modern audience. But right now, me saying the 4 same things about Captain America isn't going to fucking do anything. So,
who was the old Captain America's Chris Hemsworth?
No, it's Chris Evans.
Chris Evans? Is he black now?
So, Captain America, the shield was passed to Anthony Mackie's character who played Falcon, and now he's the new Captain America.
Okay. Captain Falcon.
No, just Captain America.
Fucking punch!
I would die to see Captain Falcon on screen. I think, also, talk about a video game that would make a perfect movie. F-Zero would be great. F-Zero would be so much fun.
Oh, F-Zero.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Smash Brothers.
Well, Smash Brothers, too.
They already made, what's the name of that movie? Ready Player One? There it is.
I mean, yeah, but that's not Smash Bros. That's Ready Player One.
Ready Player One is bad.
I don't think it's bad, but it's not what everyone wants it to be. I think it's a fine movie.
You know what? Let me rephrase that. I have not watched Ready Player One. I saw maybe 7 minutes of one scene, and it was just like a bunch of crossover characters sucking each other's dicks. And I was like, man, this does not seem like it's for me. And I say that as someone who did read the book for Ready Player One in high school and was like, that was fun. But like, that was my full experience.
I think unless you've read the book directly, you'll go away going like, that was a fun movie. I don't think I think it would be good, but I'm talking about like above average good. I'm not talking about, oh, that was a really good movie. To me, the only thing that was disheartening about that movie is knowing how much potential there is for Steven Spielberg to be able to do action, and then that's what we got. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not Raiders or Jurassic Park cool. And that's a problem.
Steven Spielberg direct Ready Player One?
Yes, he did.
How directly involved was he?
Very. He's always very involved in his directorial stuff.
That's crazy. That seems like a weird use of him. Whatever. I don't know what modern Steven Spielberg is up to.
I will say after Ready Player One and even before Ready Player One, he was pretty much exclusively doing period pieces and strict dramas, and now it's pretty much the exact. Outside of no, he did throw in West Side Story. He remade West Side Story, 2020, I think.
I'm currently looking at a list of Steven Spielberg movies, and I'm trying to see if any of them are good.
That's such a slap in the fucking face.
I remember liking Catch Me If You Can.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen it since it originally came out, and my family got it from the local Hollywood Video.
Oh, Hollywood!
I remember enjoying it then.
Hollywood Video, what a great place. Overpriced, but what a great place.
It was attached to the Game Crazy, where I got my first Xbox.
Game Crazy. I remember that shit too.
What did he do with Shrek?
I think he was a producer on Shrek.
That sucks.
He's produced a ton of shit.
Are you excited for Shrek 5?
No.
Why not?
We are already in a world of exhaustive IP, and I've always been selective about the IP I like, and I don't think Shrek's bad. I just rewatched Shrek the other night. Because when we have another set of friends who they have young kids and they have this awesome theater setup and they want to do more hangs, and so I was like, oh cool, let's do pizza and movie nights. Start simple, but I was like, oh,
different from the friend that you're already doing movie nights with.
Yes,
you have two sets of new movie night friends.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
You got to come up with a different idea, man.
So it's
mostly the idea of everyone you meet just being like, well, you could be our Thursday movie night friend.
First and foremost, that sounds like a great existence, and I'm fine with it. Because
what if I watch 3 movies?
I think movies are the premier form of entertainment, but that's just me.
Gotta think about that. Okay, continue.
I think it's the most efficient and elegant way to tell a story in an efficient time manner.
Efficient time manner. Gotta think about that.
Because I hate watching television. Generally.
But what if no ads? I gotta get back to piracy, man. Piracy's the way.
Movies don't have ads. And I'm watching television most of the time that doesn't have ads. So
yeah, good. I'm glad you're not, because people who have Netflix with ads should shoot themselves. I take that back.
I mean, I should say this. I do watch one thing with ads on it, but it's because they've now made it traditional television on Netflix, and that's Monday Night Raw. But I'm like, God damn it. This is at least something I'm going to watch. So I'll keep Netflix for once. But
you know what hold on. I got to do a quick, you know what I hate? Because this came up. You were talking about like the monoculture of like, oh, everyone can relate to this one thing. That is mostly gone, except for ads.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I found that like that is specifically the thing where everyone's like, oh, you know that commercial, right? And they like lovingly, jokingly reference it. And I'm like, no, of course I don't know that. Because I don't fucking look at ads. I do everything I can to not look at ads.
Yeah.
I don't watch like regular cable television. And I like specifically will look for ways to watch things that don't have ads in them because it's a waste of my goddamn time. Oh, yeah. And like at my job, the number of people who are just like, that ostrich, what a scamp. And I don't, there's some commercial that has an ostrich in it, and apparently it's like the cutest thing in the world, and everyone's really excited about the fact that like they all know about this fucking ostrich, and like it makes me want to throw up. That like everyone is very lovingly and excitedly talking about like this group of advertisements we saw.
So I have 2 comments on that.
Go for
One, it. I wholeheartedly agree that you should be disgusted by conversations being about advertisements, because that's something that even it bothered me in a terrestrial world 20 years ago when people started watching the Super Bowl as an event and they only wanted to talk about the ads.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was just like, hold on. If there's a movie trailer or a TV trailer or like a big announcement for something that we're all going to get excited about because we're going to collectively be entertained by this thing, but it's something we're looking forward to, awesome.
What if it's Pepsi?
But when we're going to talk about fucking Kylie Jenner saving the world of world peace because of a Pepsi commercial, go fuck yourselves. I'm not interested in this goddamn conversation. This is a waste of everybody's time, and you're all a bunch of
Yep.
fucking boobs. What are you doing?
Yep.
I've hated that forever. So that's something I
Really
cannot stand.
You said, and we're all a bunch of boobs.
Yeah.
And then I immediately thought of the dentist. Sorry, continue.
But two, I also think that there's something about what used to be water cooler talk that we are all, as much as we all love the ability now to kind of just be in our niches all the time, like growing up, you couldn't be strictly an anime fan because it was near impossible as an American audience member to only watch anime. It was just such a niche product that did not have a lot of visibility. Where now, in 2025, if you grow up in fucking Des Moines, Iowa, and you like anime, you could truly spend your entire life just going, I only watch anime. I don't watch normal television. I don't watch movies. I strictly watch anime.
And there's so much of it, yeah.
Yeah, so we all do such a good job trying to avoid shit we don't like because we have access to shit we do like now, that it's so hard to have common experiences with people. So that's why they're talking about fucking ads, because it's the only thing they have. As to your point, it's the only thing where everyone can kind of go, you see that ostrich?
And specifically that just bums me out.
Oh, and it's bullshit. Because the thing is this, I think there's enough. It's the only thing I'll sound, well, not the only thing, but I will sound very old manish here. I think there's enough, if you just kind of stick with some of the traditional entertainment milieus, there's enough that you can get by shared experience wise, and it's not painful. You know, like, you don't have to be a certain team fan, but if you generally just have a passing interest in sports, you can have a common shared experience, because you can be like, yo, did you see that play, or did you see that highlight on TikTok or whatever? And then it can open up a conversation about sports. You know, if you watch 2 or 3 of the most popular movies of the year, whether you liked them or not, you at least can usually find enough people to go, oh yeah, I really like that, or oh, I wasn't crazy about that. Like, if you just watched Deadpool and Wolverine from last year, you can at least have a conversation with a good amount of people in the world. It's there.
So I will specifically add that one of the virtues of like the death of the monoculture is how exciting it is when you do end up finding someone with like a shared interest.
Yes.
When your interest is a niche. Like, this is a long ago story, and I'll give the short version of it. But I remember I was out at like a club dancing with someone, and like me and this woman were talking and just kind of like having nonchalant conversation, and like we basically realized that we were both this makes it sound absurd. We're both really into A24 movies, which are like they're like deeply like,
they're great. They're great, but they're usually very weird.
Super cool, weird, twisted, like horror stuff. And then like we both just immediately made like a deep cut reference to something from it. And when that happened, there was like we fucking get each other. And like the moment of like excitement and the huge smile we both had on our faces was like, oh, this is like great. And this is way cooler than if we were both like, hey, did you see Austin Powers? Which, like, I love Austin Powers, but like it's just I don't know, it was a way bigger thing at the time. Everyone saw Austin Powers at the time.
Yeah.
And like when those moments happen, it does like hit extra nice.
I will say this, it's people now can understand what it meant to be a comic book fan 25 to 30 years ago. Because even at that time, even after a few of the big blockbuster movies came out and people started to go, oh, maybe there is something to these comic books, there was still the secret club aspect. Like, I still remember as a tween, I want to say, the first time I went to the comic book store alone, and there was just this magic level of dust in the air, and I just felt like not everyone would be enjoying this, but this is where I belong. I feel seen here. And you know what?
Yeah.
When I go to the bin that says Nightwing on it, and I'm one of the 4 people in the world that wants to buy a Nightwing comic,
Yeah.
and someone else said, "Oh, I fucking love Nightwing." That's the experience you shared. Is A24 in a club where if
Mhm.
someone's like, "Oh, I fucking get it," it's like everyone can now feel that experience now. But it also shows how lost we are as a general. I'm not trying to make some giant sweeping realization about society, but how hard it is sometimes to connect with people because you don't have those common sources where I'm not saying the television was always great, but
Mhm.
90s, even early 2000s, there's only so many shows that really captured people's attention.
Yeah.
So when fucking 70 plus million people watch the finale of Seinfeld, pretty easy you're going to find someone to have an opinion on it, and you could go, and then you could have start other conversations about it. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean it was the most passionate thing for everybody, but you had something shared with people. Now it feels
Yeah.
like you can be super connected to small groups of people, but it's very
Mhm.
hard to feel in a general sense connected to a lot of people. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
like going to the movies because at least you're in a shared experience environment. That's always what I've liked about it. I loved
Mhm.
like the old midnight release feel where we're all excited about the same thing. We're all really pumped to see fucking Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, and even though we all know the movie shit, lose our fucking minds when Yoda pulls out a goddamn lightsaber. It's fucking cool. It
Mhm.
just is, even though that movie is utter trash. Because I'm currently rewatching it right now to rewrite it for the fucking podcast. God damn, that movie sucks. But it was a shared experience. That was really fun. So,
I was thinking to myself as we're talking about this, what is the last time that there was a movie that I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to like go out and see this with other people." Like part of what I'm excited about and desiring is that like I'm going to watch this with others. And the two examples that come to mind that I do think are genuinely two great movies that ended up being kind of cultural touch points is Nosferatu, as far as like recent. And then
still a niche
before
audience, but
that,
I get it.
it's niche, but like big enough.
It's big
Um,
enough to feel something.
and then the other one was The Boy and the Heron. And I think that The Boy and the
Again,
Heron was like a genuinely really exciting like one.
niche. Again, niche.
It's not it certainly isn't like Marvel, but I think that like there's a big subset of Ghibli people nowadays. Like
Yes, it's
Ghibli got
easier to
underneath
find
the
it. It's
Disney
not
umbrella.
fucking 2004 Howl's Moving Castle where again, it's the
Yeah.
secret club, and if you found someone, if you were a Ghibli fan and you found another Ghibli fan, you're like, oh my fucking god, right? But it's much easier now, especially that almost all of the Studio Ghibli movies are available on Max. Anyone can watch
Yeah.
them to the point where someone who's never watched them before, such as myself, has watched 2 of them and is looking forward to watching more of them. So,
But the thing that I meant the reason I mentioned it, the thing that I was trying to highlight was that specific aspect of like this is a movie I want to go see in theaters and share that experience with other people so that afterwards we can also just like sit down and talk about it and share our thoughts with it.
yeah.
And like there has been a nice element of like they don't happen that often, but when they do happen, it's nice because they are like something I'm genuinely excited about,
Yeah,
rather than just like I guess I'll just see whatever's next, like that kind of
the
thing.
last movie that actually gave me the real vibes was Avengers Endgame, which that's now 6 years ago.
Yeah,
Uh, I missed out because Barbie had that feel for a lot of people, and I didn't go to see Barbie in the
Barbie was
theaters.
good. Barbie was
Barbie's
really good.
Barbie's one of my top 100. I fucking love Barbie.
It should be.
Which shout out, go watch that series over on Wisco Movie Watch podcast debuting on Saturdays. But
Hey.
like Oppenheimer had a little bit of that feel for me, where I was like, I need to go see this in the theater, and I want to feel what other people feel around me. That seems pretty fun.
Hmm.
But I think that's the same reason. Like, it's why, as much as I don't like it, I very much understand why people love going to live music. Why
Hell yeah.
or why I specifically love going to Lambeau for, a football game. Is there's
Hmm.
75,000 people that, especially in our home state, most likely don't agree with a lot of the values that I agree with, But we all agree if you're wearing green and yellow on that day, we fucking love you. So it's fine. But,
Yeah.
and we can all just go, okay, for fucking 3.5 hours today, let's just all get along and have a great time together. Same thing if you go to a concert, you go to an event. Like, I get why people want to do it. It's a shared experience that you get to enjoy together. It's like, yeah.
I'd add the detail that, like, specifically with live music, it's also just like it sounds different.
Oh, it does,
Like,
yeah.
I think that a lot of people, how do I word it? I'm trying to translate this because it's something that I've noticed for myself, which is we consume music so much more passively nowadays. Music is something that is on in the background while you cook. Music is something that plays in the car while you drive. Music is something that, like, accompanies your headphones while you're walking, but it's not necessarily something that you actively do.
Yeah.
And then concerts are one of those times where you are actively engaging in the music and specifically engaging in it in a way that is like a considerably improved like experience versus just throwing your earbuds in.
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying to compare that to going to a sports like event where, like, if I go to a basketball game, like, I don't have access to like replays.
Yes.
I don't have access to like alternate camera angles and things like that. So there are aspects of the consuming that are like technically slightly worse,
Yes.
but like what you're getting is the like fan aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm highlighting that is that I've talked to people who have specifically mentioned like, God, I want to go to do more live music because like it's so cool and sounds so great, but also it's overwhelming to be around so many people and I don't want to like be around that.
There's
So like
very few people there's very few musical acts that I will make the effort to go to because of that. Because it's it's so weird because it's the exact same experience at Lambeau. I have 18 inches and that's it. And then either side I'm packed in. You know. But
you're sitting. People respect space more. Like
Oh.
if you're in bleachers, there's a
A
little bit of
little bit, but it's not like it's not like a modern stadium where there's a defined here's your seat with armrests and everything. It's still a bleacher where you're like sometimes I get 24 inches and sometimes I get 11. Whatever, because it's just a standard old fucking bleacher from the 50s. But having said that, yeah, there's very few musical acts that I will make the effort because I wouldn't clarify. I'm not a music person. There are people that like music is their everything. I'm not that fucking guy.
I think music's pretty cool.
I love music, and what's odd, and I think you would have appreciated about the action tourney, was one of the biggest criticisms I had at all times, or in terms of both negative and positively, was the use of music in the scene, and how did it impact the scene, and how was it used. That was a big definer in
the music
in a lot of the scenes of what I judged on.
The music in the Heat Bank heist is the coolest shit in the world.
I disagree, but that's fine.
God, it's so good. Was the Blade club scene in consideration?
I didn't. We didn't put Blade in.
What? Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not. I don't want to be the guy who's just like
you know what you should
and immediately criticizing it.
No, you should because that's what the comment section is for. Go do that in the comment section, motherfucker.
Motherfucker, I'm not going in your comment section.
You tell me to do that shit all the time.
I tell you to go in your comment section?
Yeah.
Bro, the vampire club scene is so good.
Oh, it's very cool. I
just have it up in the background now, and the music is so good.
I mean, I would argue. I mean, that'd be a good entry for a future tournament, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the whatever fucking truck scene you said.
That is completely false.
You said the truck scene from Cars?
The truck chase from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I remember that from Cars. Tomato, get her done, and everyone laughed.
But yeah, no, the shared experience is fun. It's enjoyable. It's great. I do want to go way, way back, just because we've talked about it and brought it up multiple times and didn't do anything. Are you excited at all for the Switch 2? I'm fucking not. I know you're not really a traditional player because you're a Steam Deck guy, but...
So specifically, like, I am always excited for new Nintendo video games. Nintendo is very good at making video games, and I play a lot fewer games now, but I have a long history of loving and caring about video games.
Yes.
The Kingdom was cool as shit. I like the idea of Nintendo being further and further away from being restricted by technology, because that is something that has always been one of the like
It's been their
cruxes.
downfalls for all the time. Always.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's not a huge deal, but I saw a YouTube video the other day of that Princess Peach game, and I was like, man, that game seems really cool. And I saw that it was also running at like it looked like 30 FPS, maybe less than 30 FPS, and I was like, man, that kind of looks like dog shit. And like, even though the graphics are very good, like the gameplay like seems like it would not feel very good to play. And like,
It's fun, but I can understand the criticism.
when I was looking at it, I couldn't help thinking like, man, this would be really cool to play on my PC if I could get it to run at a high frame rate, because like it will be very very pretty and it will run well. And what that is, the core of that is, I think Nintendo makes incredible games that are often limited by the capabilities of the hardware.
Yep.
And the idea of a Switch 2 says to me like maybe they'll have a strong enough thing that like they won't feel the need to compromise much on like the games that they're making. Like my dream, my actual dream, and whatever, this goes extremely in line with everything that I've been saying all the time, is what if Nintendo just made games for PC, where like it could be as strong or as powerful as it needs to be, as much as they want. They had access to VR hardware, so they could make VR games that wasn't like the fucking Labo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think Nintendo is incredibly like creatively inspiring and does wonderful things when given freedom to make whatever they like. And like, I want to see a fully unlimited, fully unrestricted Nintendo. So all of that is to say, if a Switch 2 is stronger, then I think it will be exciting to see what happens if they take their baseline of Tears of the Kingdom, which like had this incredibly robust building system that was built on the back of this like old 12-year-old processor, and they were able to pull off so much with. What if they had modern hardware?
Yeah.
What kind of things could they do? What kind of things could they make? What kind of systems could they put together? And like, that's exciting. That like conceptually, fundamentally is very exciting. While also like Mario Kart 9. Okay. Another Mario Kart. Got it.
Well,
Like,
I think it's the oddly, it kind of goes into the shared experience thing. Nintendo's the only video game company left that still makes shared experience games the way we had shared experience games. Obviously,
yeah.
modern generation, they have a shared experience, but it's online vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
Where they still make games that are, you can play them online, but most of the fun is getting together with 3 friends and just playing them, or having a tournament or something like that.
I will say that's definitely a thing, and for what it's worth, like literally this Saturday I went to a friend's birthday party where we were doing a Smash tournament.
Yeah.
So like that is totally a thing, but also like that isn't really the part that I care about that much with Nintendo.
No, I just thought
Like,
it was interesting having our last conversation with them, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Because also, yeah, it also holds them back in a way, because then it's like, oh, well, Mario Kart 9 always sells. And you're like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but then you guys never change it much.
Yeah. They should make another Mario Kart. I enjoy Mario Kart, but it's I think we talked about this on the last show that we did together. Like,
Yeah.
it's that thing of just like, I don't know, man. There's like 1,000 Mario Kart tracks for Mario Kart 8 that I've never played.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a new Mario Kart. I bet most people have not played most of those tracks. Like, I don't, and I get it. What else are you gonna show off to start off your Switch 2? That's whatever. It's a big
Well,
deal.
I'm also
But, like,
wondering, what is it?
go ahead.
I don't know if we're in this era anymore. I'm someone who needs to at least see one game I give a shit about before I'm gonna get excited about a system.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Wii U too.
well, I mean, think about it. I wasn't in on the Switch until you forced me to play Breath of the Wild and changed my mind on Legend of Zelda and everything about it. Because I was even anti-Zelda at one time, which is really stupid. That was a flawed thinking in my mind. Because it's so dumb, and now I love it so much. But
One day, Evan Davies, you are going to play Elden Ring, and you're going to understand that the exact experience that you've had with Zelda is also the true for all the FromSoft games, because they are the best video games ever
yeah,
made.
but I've played their games and I didn't like them.
That's not true.
I played Dark Souls 3 with you and I didn't like it.
You played Dark Souls 3 with me, and you had an absolute fucking blast.
No, I had a blast roasting you while you played. That's different.
That's not what happened. This is alternate history. You may continue with what you were saying.
Oh my god, this boss fight's so hard. It's so hard. And it just so happens the one time you fought the boss and won was the one time you showed it to me. I was like, oh, it's just so hard. It's just so
No, you beat
difficult.
it. You beat the boss. What are you talking about?
Now, I'm talking about when you beat the final boss in Dark Souls 3, and I didn't see the 10,000 times you failed beforehand. I only saw the one time that you beat it, but I heard all the talk about the 10,000 times, but I never saw it. And then
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
and
Got
then
it.
the first time you pulled up into the fight, you're like, I gotta get ready. This is gonna be tough. I'm not gonna make it. This is gonna take forever. And then you beat it, and I'm like, it's just so tough. It's just so hard. Oh, this character's so hard to beat.
I can't help it that I'm so good at video games. Evan. I am the number one gamer boy.
But I will
And
say,
there's
a great
no
night.
competition.
It was a great
Yeah,
night that
you're
night.
right. Thumbs up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Any night where I'm playing Dark Souls is a great night.
We can play Elden Ring the next time we're together. I'm just saying, don't have high hopes.
Elden Ring rules. I have a little group going right now. Again, I'm gonna just keep sucking PC's dick. I'm playing an Elden Ring seamless co-op session with friends, and it's just like two friends that Elden Ring would extremely not be their thing, and then one friend who's played through the whole game, and we're just been like playing together with seamless co-op because you could just like get a posse and just do everything together, and it has been really fun to see them just like geeking the fuck out and being like, "Oh, this game's awesome," and like, yeah, yeah,
I'm glad you're having that shared experience with them.
yeah.
It's glorious.
But you can only have it because PC and whatever. I love PC.
Yeah, well,
I love people. People are cool.
I will one day have a PC that I can play games on in a regular fashion.
Bro, you're right. Your wife is rich. Make her give you a computer.
No, we're not fucking rich. Once we make some changes in life and some things drop, then maybe. Which I have news for you for off the podcast about stuff like that, but that's different.
You got to tell her to make some changes then.
I mean, I'm also
you need that PC.
I am also
so we
working.
Can play Elden Ring.
This is what it needs.
Yeah.
It still won't be as bad. I brought this up on one of the movie shows, or four at the very least. Is Dylan wants me to watch this horror movie called Talk to Me from like 2022, I want to say.
The movie's great. Yeah, I saw that.
But Dylan loves it so much that he bypassed me because he just got sick of me saying one day I'm going to watch it. He bypassed me and then started harassing Ab saying, please get Ed to watch this movie. Yeah. Please. Yeah. So I took it out from the library. So I have it sitting on my coffee table right now to watch. But it's just one of those that like he harassed me for like 6 months and then just said, fuck it. I'm going to go to the real boss and just make him do it.
I am curious to hear what you end up thinking of that movie. There is a specific scene that I think about fairly regularly that is like the coolest fucking thing.
All right.
Oh, it's a good moment. God.
It'll be fun to watch that. But just to close a little Nintendo here, is there a game, if you had to predict, what do you think they lead with besides Mario Kart 9?
It's going to be a new Mario game. Because like Zelda's
came out too recent.
A little too recently. I can see them doing something with Zelda potentially because that is a big system seller. But I think it will be like, what is the next big Mario 3D thing after 3D World and after after Odyssey and after the 3D World Bowser offshoot thing, whatever that was.
Well, the thing is, I don't think they made a... After Odyssey, I don't know if they really captured the Mario energy again.
I think Bowser's Fury was them doing it.
The way Odyssey did, where it's... The reason I say this is, Mario is an institution. Mario doesn't need It doesn't need a pump of energy all the time. It is constant. But Odyssey was another one, like, it comes about every so often with a Mario game where people just go, no, this is different and you need to play it. And like someone like me who is not a traditional Mario player was like, I should try this. And then I tried it and I loved it. I loved Mario Odyssey. But then when I went back to traditional side-scrolling Mario games or even other traditional 3D Mario games, I was like, I mean, yeah, but they're just not my thing. And I'm just wondering what could be next for that. But admittedly, I'm also not interested by the character Mario. I want to see the other characters, so that also doesn't help.
They should make a Mario game with Sonic the Hedgehog.
That would be interesting.
Sonic is cooler as a
Sonic's
character
Sonic is way cooler.
because he has big hair.
But beyond that, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's too early for Zelda.
I will say
I think Metroid's dead from an interest standpoint. Not that they won't do it and have fun with it,
they
but
literally did Metroid Prime 4. That was at the latest direct.
no, I know, but it's just like it takes
Yeah.
forever, and it's like the core audience of that has just dwindled. It's not that big.
Well, specifically, it's just that like they're actively making a game already for the Switch 1, so like I don't think it'll be a Switch 2 thing. But I don't think that the audience is like super tiny for that. I think the audience for a new Metroid game is appropriately sized for what Metroid is.
Yeah.
Like you're right, it's definitely not like the big boom blockbuster like seller thing, but like it was never supposed to be.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't think ZA will count as that because I think ZA is a traditional Switch game.
I don't think so either. It also doesn't look particularly like bombastic.
It's not giving me good vibes, man.
Yeah.
It's giving me, what if we put wild areas in a game you liked and made it worse? And I'm like, nope, I don't want it. I don't like it. I loved Legends Arceus. The fact that we're doing a Legends game in the modern day pisses me off. I don't agree with this choice, but then you're going to put wild areas in a fucking city? Sounds bad. I don't want to do this.
For what it's worth, I barely know anything about the game, so I take your word for it.
Well, why don't you go be more active in our group chat then?
Are you guys talking about Pokemon?
It is in the Big Trust Woo Woo group chat.
I wonder why I'm not more active in the group chat.
Shut up. I know the reason, but they don't need to know the reason. But yes, alas. But yeah, I think we should.
I will say, like the honest answer, and this is kind of true for anything ever, is the thing that would excite me most is something new. The thing that would excite me most is like, hey, Nintendo is making a new thing. They have a new system that is able to do new things, and with these new things, they're making something new. I know that one of the like new features of the Switch 2 is that you can take the Joy-Cons off and use them in mouse mode, is what it looked like, where it has like a little trackball thing and you can move it around on the desk. That opens the idea of Nintendo making like a legitimate first-person shooter like type thing, which like conceptually fascinating. What does Nintendo do in the first-person shooter space when it's not hamstrung by the idea of like it needs to be slow like Metroid Prime is?
Yeah.
Like I think that would be interesting to see, although that's not a prediction of like that's what I think they're going to do.
Yeah.
I want to see what Nintendo can do because Nintendo has a bunch of really creative people in it.
Yeah.
And I want it to be, honest answer, something different. I want it to not be Mario or Zelda or anything like that. I want it to be like a brand new thing because they're good at new things.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's get good Nintendo talk. Hey, it's a good place to. We've shot our shit. We've done our stuff tonight. Yeah,
and you have off-camera stories to tell me.
I do. But that's a different story nonetheless. But it's been fun. It's been fun getting back to the chaotic mess that is Angelo Gonzalez on a podcast.
I'm a good time.
I do like the fact that doesn't matter what it is, at least once on every podcast, you do decide to disparage my character in some way. That's always fun.
I don't think,
and it always starts with Evan Reginald Davies, or Evan Reginald Davies is involved in that. And that smile just told everybody the exact story, which is, yes, that's exactly what you do.
I do not think that I disparage your character. I think that your character acts in such a way that is naturally deserving of disparaging. If you are going to do things and act things that grant criticism that is out of my control, you are a fully independent man who has full control of your own body.
Oh, you're a piece of
shit.
You
are autonomous, sir.
You are such a piece of shit.
Did you know that a canon ending in Elden Ring is that you end up as a dragon married to a four-armed goth girl?
Huh.
And you don't want to play that game. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm cool.
That's so good. What a good game.
And on that note, that has been our show for the day, folks. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Go check out the Wisco Movie Watch podcast. And go watch out for some future episodes of the ONETA Show. We're going to talk some NFL draft soon. We'll be talking WrestleMania soon. Gotta get ready for that one as we get ready for WrestleMania 41 and the heel John Cena, and so
Did we
many
talk
other
about
things.
Royal Rumble?
I mean, from 3 months ago, sure.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Yes, I did one. No, I did a preview. I don't think I did a review.
Look, she's doing cross chops.
She is doing cross chops right now for our video listeners.
It's like she's a
Our video watchers, our listeners probably don't see the cross chop because they're only listening in their earbuds.
Okay, I'll do the. That's for the podcast listeners. That's
Well, on that lovely note, that has been the show today, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening wherever you may be. Go love yourself and have a great day. Peace, love, and hugs from Angelo and myself. Goodbye.
Love you guys. Bye.